Thanks for staying tuned. I'm Stanford Howard with this edition of the HGP SportsCast. On the first day of 2019, the Buxton Community Center ground came alive for the third place playoff and finals of the Guyana Football Federation STAG Super 16 knockout tournament. Samuel Gillis was there and filed this report.
A robust crowd surrounded the Buxton Community Center ground on New Year's Day to witness classic football played by Futo Conquerors and Western Tigers. They battled for the third place to win $500,000 Guyana dollars under a star-filled sky. Futo Conquerors came out strong to suffocate Western Tigers with 2-0. Conquerors coach explained how they did it.
Philosophy at the club to overcome the opposition by passing the ball, possession, and playing through the lines. And from the semi-final game, we thought, looking at the conditions, we needed to play the ball a lot more on the ground, moving the ball, particularly at midfield, and looking at the principles of attack. Penetration is one of those principles that is most effective under these conditions, especially when you're playing with the breeze, even when you're playing against the breeze, trying to keep the ball flat and playing between the line of the defense and having a lot of mobility from the forwards was very important.
The final was kicked off by Attorney General Basil Williams. His kick of confidence had a ripple effect on the AMSTEL side as they met with Buxton under the floodlights that night. Buxton defenders had nothing on the AMSTEL as the AMSTEL churned out 2 goals against Buxton.
Low ball, low class, man.
Much to the disappointment and disenchantment of the home crowd, their captain had this to say.
From what we practice, we're going to definitely defend better. We thought we practice to play from behind the ball, we're going against the breeze, so nothing would go over our heads. And both goals, that's how it happened, over our heads.
The AMSTEL team went home to Western with $2 million Guyana dollars. Their captain spilled the beans on their strategy.
Well, I mean, the togetherness that we're sticking together as a team, as a unit, and we must congrats the coach for putting in the effort. For showing the leadership from the top right down, and it doesn't help you a lot. The players was disciplined, coming out to work, putting in the work, and just coming and training, but 100 every time they come on the pitch, and that was really good for me. That was really good for me. A lot, but we show that we have great potential. We have a good young team, with great potential, and this is not the best of us. See us in the future, you'll see more football.
For HGP Sports, I am Samuel Gillis.
Thank you, Samuel. President of the Guyana Amateur Basketball Federation donates basketball to LABA and its affiliates. Find out more in this report. President of the Guyana Amateur Basketball Federation, Nigel Hines, made the donation of 22 basketballs to the Linden Amateur Basketball Association and its affiliated clubs last Saturday. He called on the sports authorities to find a way to reassign the unused spare basketball goals at the National Sports Commission's National Gymnasium to the Mackenzie Sports Club hard court. LABA had requested the basketball goals be placed at the Mackenzie Sports Club basketball court since they were not being used at the National Gymnasium since 2016. While the recent crashing of one of the basketball backboards at the MSC has rendered the facility useless for competitions. He felt that this is a real occasion where the sport authorities can really demonstrate how they care for the youths of the nation by rendering the necessary help for a good cause. Hines noted that the association had planned 3 tournaments for its end-of-year program, which has been put on hold due to the fact that a replacement of the basketball goals remain in doubt, and the fact that attempts had not borne any positive change in the current situation facing the game in Linden. Reporting for the HGP SportsCast, I am Stanford Howard. We now switch our attention to cricket. Richard PYBUS is set to be the Windies' new full-time head coach. Find out more in this report. Richard PYBUS, West Indies High Performance Director, has agreed to take up the role of head coach full-time, replacing the interim coach POTHAS. PYBUS' contract will effectively run until the 2019 Test Series against India, which follows the ODI World Cup in England. The position of the West Indies head coach had been vacant since Stuart Law resigned from the position less than 2 years into his job. He left West Indies to take up a 4-year contract with the English county team Middlesex. Originally, the fielding coach POTHAS was made interim head coach for the recent tour of Bangladesh that follows Law's exit. PYBUS took over a high-performance director in February. His role required him to work alongside selectors and coaches across all levels of the game in the Caribbean. He had previously served as West Indies Director of Cricket from 2013 to the end of 2016, when he chose not to renew his contract. PYBUS' return to West Indies cricket wasn't welcomed by everyone. Former West Indian opener Desmond Haynes, in a Facebook post, questioned the process of appointing him. For the HGP SportsCast, I am Stanford Howard. Moving along with cricket, West Indies captain Jason Holder will end the year as the number 2 ranked all-rounder in Test and in the top 20 of the bowlers' rankings. In the latest rankings announced by the International Cricket Council, Holder had risen 2 places in the bowlers' rankings to 10th, ensuring he heads into the new year rated among the elite bowlers in the longest format of the game. As a result of his progress, he also jumped 2 places in the all-rounders rankings and is only now behind Bangladesh captain Shakib Al Hassan. His rise comes despite missing the tour of Bangladesh through injuries. Holder had an outstanding year with the ball, claiming 33 wickets from 6 tests at an amazing average of 11.87, the best by any bowler in a calendar year for the last 100 years. And that's all we have for this edition of the HGP SportsCast. But do remember, persistence can change failure into extraordinary achievement.